Earlier today, President Biden arrived in Geneva ahead of his highly anticipated meeting tomorrow with Russian President Vladimir Putin, whom he called a worthy adversary on Monday. After delivering remarks to close out the G7 summit on Sunday, President Biden was asked about what he would do differently when it came to Putin. And he suggested that working together with Russia could be the way forward.
There's a lot going on where we could work together with Russia. For example, in Libya, we should be opening up the passes to be able to go through and provide food assistance and vital assistance to a population that's in real trouble. I think I'm going to try very much hard to. And by the way, there's places where I shouldn't be starting off and negotiating in public here, but let me say it this way. Russia has engaged in activities which we believe are contrary to international norms, but they have also bitten off some real problems they're going to have trouble chewing on.
Noting the president's recent comments and his actions since taking office, many are wondering if Biden will stand up to Putin or if he will do something else. Well, with me now to talk about this is Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin, FRC's Executive Vice President, and former commander of the U.S. Army's Delta Force. General, welcome back to the program.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Good to be with you.
So what is your assessment of the Biden-Putin meetings? What are you expecting to happen as a result of these?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think we need to establish that this is a very important time, and a dialogue with the Russians is, I think, very important to the security not only of the two nations involved, but to the whole world. So I'm in favor of dialogue. My concern is that I don't know that the president is ready for this dialogue. I'm not sure that he's ready to meet Putin one-on-one and standing on his own to be able to negotiate anything with Putin. Putin is a very shrewd man, and he has demonstrated that. And I think that it goes without saying that up to this point, what he has seen from our president has been weakness, particularly as it relates to relieving the sanctions so that they could build the pipeline into Germany. And I hope that our president is ready for this meeting.
In an op-ed published earlier today, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that Biden is showing up to his meeting with Putin, quote, with a self-dealt weak hand that could have been much stronger. What do you think he meant by that?
Well, again, we'll go back to the fact that Putin has not responded of the last two major cyber attacks, the one on our fuel system as well as the one on our beef. And he also has lifted those sanctions so that you can make a substantial portion of Russia totally dependent upon, a substantial portion of Europe totally dependent upon Russia. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing for the Europeans to be depending on Russia for their energy supplies, and Biden has permitted that to happen. So I think that that's the hand that Mike Pompeo is talking about. He's dealt that hand to himself, and I think that now is the time when if he's going to make a substantial difference in the relationship between America and the Russians, he has to turn in a different direction and let Putin know that he means business. He's serious, and that we're not going to put up with this anymore. We're not going to put up with any more of these cyber attacks without a major retaliation. And Putin simply has to know that he's dealing with a man that actually has some backbone. That is not what Putin has seen to this point.
What would a president, or what could President Biden do that would communicate to Putin that he is serious about these and intends to hold Russia accountable? What are some of the things that the U.S. government could be doing to do that?
Well, first of all, I think that the U.S. government could be rallying our NATO allies. That's a very important thing for us to do. Rally our allies, get them on our sides, and that includes Germany. And then the second thing is reimpose those sanctions and stop this pipeline, stop this Nord Stream 2 pipeline from being built, because that makes us, as well as our European allies, more vulnerable. And then the third thing is slap sanctions on. I think the Russian economy cannot withstand long-term sanctions. The oligarchs might be making some money, but the average Russian is going to be in a hurt when we slam them with additional sanctions. And I think that's exactly what he needs to do. But he needs to do it for more than the effect of it. He needs to do it because we need to send a message to Vladimir Putin that we are not going to continue to allow him to do the things that he's done, particularly in cyberspace.
Now, we're having some connection issues, but I think we've resolved them here. What is there anything that you think Putin is doing differently now as a result of the change in administration?
Oh, I think he's accelerating his attacks on America. I think that what you're seeing now is an acceleration of the very tactics that he wanted to use in the Trump administration and did use a couple of times. I think the difference was that Trump did come back to him. And keep in mind that Trump's reaction to Putin, generally speaking, was pretty significant. Now, what Putin is looking at too is the fact that when Joe Biden was the vice president, the Russians took Crimea, and the administration did absolutely nothing. And Joe Biden is supposed to be a foreign affairs guru. Remember, he talked about that Obama would be tested by some nation, and he needed somebody like him that had a foreign affairs background. Well, that foreign affairs degree is not serving him well right now. He needs to go back to the fundamentals and stand strong in these negotiations. Now, we need these negotiations. The Russians are still ahead of us in short-range nuclear weapons. We need to remember that. So there needs to be ultimately some negotiations with regards to disarmament, to reduction of the number of warheads and that type of thing. But I'm not sure that Putin's up to it right now. He's not demonstrating it.
General Boykin, we are out of time, but we greatly appreciate your time in joining us today, and we look forward to the next conversation.
Good to be with you.